guys, what's up? There's so many, so many questions coming in Daily Creative. Welcome to another episode, first of all. Second of all, I'm here in the airport in Seattle. Just got off a plane, and I had 8 minutes. I'm going to try and do 2 questions in 8 minutes, and these are really good questions. I think you'll like it. Again, 1-802-962-4357 if you want to leave your question, and I'll check it, and yeah, you get it. Okay. The first question here, I'm going to play it on my phone. Just as a voicemail from Joey. Let's hear from Joey. All right, Joey.
Hey, Chase. This is Joey Unger with Key Lime Photography in Las Vegas. I just have a question for you. It's regarding ethical work and strategic work.
Ethical strategy.
I've got an opportunity here where one of our clients sent us an email that had an email chain attached to it. And in that email chain is the VP of marketing for a company that we would love to work with.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Just wondering how you would approach something like that. Can I send an email to this person and introduce myself? I have a feeling you might say that I talk to my client and see if they can introduce us that way. Is that an appropriate question to ask them? What do you think about all this?
Great.
Hopefully I'll hear from you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Great. Joey, interesting question. First of all, you have one thing in the world. Well, you've got many things, but one thing in particular, and that's your integrity. So I always advocate playing it on above the what? What is it? Above the what?
Fold.
Fold? No,
yeah.
Above the belt. Above the belt, and just be legit. Okay, would you want to be contacted in a spammy way? No. And so just straight up, don't do that. And because here's the thing, if those people have a relationship, they're talking, and when they says, oh, you're using Bobby the photographer, oh, how'd you meet Bobby? It just could get back to you. It's not worth it. What is a much better strategy, and you kind of lean into it yourself, is do amazing work for the client. Make them love you, deliver over and above, and then say, or at some point when it's appropriate, say, I couldn't help but I was reading the thread because and I saw that you're friends with Sally, who's the VP of marketing of that company. I just want you to know that I love that company, and the number one way we get business is referrals. So if at any point in the future you connect with her or anyone else, I would love an introduction or just say nice things about my work. That'd mean the world to me. Just keep it super. Sorry, pretend there's no overhead stuff, but just keep it so positive and chill and deliver amazing work to your client. And then at the end, you can connect with them in a very authentic way about, hey, cool, if you have friends that are doing, that would appreciate the work that we're doing, introductions are great. Or I couldn't help but see in this thread that you're friends with Sally. If we go above and beyond, if we blow your expectations out of the water, and at some point it's convenient and you feel there should be zero pressure to do this, just, you know what I'm talking about. Be super, super cool about it. Definitely no shady shit. That is a road to no place. No one likes weird, stalky people. And it's just not the right way to be in the world. So I think that's your intuition. I can hear that in your voice. You're like, oh, that seems really weird. But again, your integrity needs to be at 11. And yeah, I think there's nothing better than doing great work. That is the best thing that you can do. That is the best way to build your business, because people tell other people. That's why CreativeLive has 10 million students in it, because you take a class and you learn from someone, and it's really easy to say, oh my God, this is a great resource. Okay, that's with photography or selling wine or selling, being a great hairstylist. It's all the same. Do kick-ass work. That's the number one thing. All right, that was Joey. Appreciate the question, Joey. I think you'll get that other client if you kick ass for that. The first client, your actual client, you'll get the second one. This next one is from Moses. Cool, let's hear from Moses. What's Moses got to say?
Hello, my name is Moses Marrero. I just wanted to know, I have a website in the internet, Shopify website. I wanted to know what's the best way to promote a store online.
What's the best way to promote a store online? All right. First of all, Shopify, great guys. Toby, Harley, have done a really, really good job building out e-commerce. Just sort of lift and stamp. You can have that on your own site. Love it. Great. I would recommend them. They're awesome. There's a bunch of great stores too, by the way. And then what's the best way of driving traffic to your stores? Well, there's a handful of things that I want you to think about. One, like there's a way to pay to drive traffic to the store. There's also like using ads on the internet, Facebook ads, Google, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. But before I go into that, I also want you to think that's a bucket. The other bucket is you can create a community around the things that you do and love, and ideally they're like that store that you're selling. So if your store is birdseed, and you want to sell different types of birdseed, and you love birds, well then start a community and start posting on social about all the things you love around birds, your bird photographs, your bird trips, your birding, your goggles, what are you doing to create content around the things that you love that point to the things that are relevant in your store, or that are where there's overlap, like your store selling birdseed and you love birds. What are you doing to make content and build community around birds? That was probably the least awesome example I've ever had, but conceptually you understand it. And that bucket is you're making content and creating community around the thing that you love, and your jab, 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 right hooking, your give, 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 ask, your adding value to the community by sharing your wisdom and connecting with others around the thing that you care about. And then when people find out that you have a store, then they will be way more likely to buy than any sort of cold lead. So that bucket is just about building community around the thing that your store does, if you love that. There's a lot of examples. I use jab, 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 right hook, so I'll reference Gary V here. He built a community around wine with, at the backside of that is like, oh, if you learned about wine from Gary, you're more likely to buy wine at Wine Library. So I think that's one bucket. The other bucket, let's go back to the paid thing. It's very important that you don't just, I think, willy-nilly go into paying for ads on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. And a lot of people do this. I see it approached in a very unanalytic way. It's just ramshackle. It's all over the place. And I think that's a bad approach. I think you should have a strategy, and that strategy should be around, you've heard the concept of A/B testing. And you can do this really easily with, there's like simple, I referenced CreativeLive earlier. There's how to buy Facebook ads, how to buy Google ads. There's whole classes around that for creatives. You should go check that out. But the context there is you approach it with a very campaign thought. You have a budget, you decide how much you're going to spend, and you test different results. You test the results of this ad or this photograph against this one, this verbiage against this one in one particular thing, like Facebook, for example. You test this audience versus that audience, and you do that in small amounts. That's the benefit of doing this stuff online, right? Is that you actually get you get data back on the results, and then when that data comes back positive, you can increase your spending. And it's important to also have an understanding about like how much, what kind of profit margins are you making in your store, and so that you don't pay $20 to get somebody to your store, and then find out that they only buy a $10 item. That's going to make you go out of business very fast. So it would be wise to invest some time learning about the cost of, like, what your margins are and what the cost of acquisition, what the lifetime value, the LTV of people who buy from your store, how much they spend over the course of 30, 60, 90, 120 a year, 18 months, whatever, and how much you pay to get that customer. So just because you can go on and buy any Facebook ad doesn't mean you shouldn't test, but you should definitely have a strategy and a point of view. Or you can pay little dollars, like $10, $20, to learn some of this stuff. Bring in a pro to help you with this. There's all kinds of classes. I already mentioned CreativeLive. To me, this is a, if you're trying to drive to a store, you should be doing some element of both of these things. The top line point of view that I have is you should have a strategy. You shouldn't just run willy-nilly into the midst, whatever. Just don't run into shit if you don't have a plan. And you can learn, that's right, lifelong learning. Use small money to figure it out, to buy AdWords and all that stuff. Again, you can probably deconstruct the best people out there that are doing it. Look at what they're doing, see where you see their ads, think about doing something similarly. That is a huge piece of, like, I say it almost every episode, don't I? Like, deconstruct other folks. There you go. Awesome. So that was Moses and Joey. Thank you again. I love the variety of questions coming in from all over the world and all sorts of different disciplines. This is the show where I do my best to answer your questions. I would love it if you would share this and hope that other people in our creative community can learn from this stuff, so we don't all I guess we're all in this together. You know, if we shared this information on the regular, you'd get credibility for sharing this video because I think it's good, and I think other people think it's good, so that would, you know, I think you might get some, hey, thanks for sharing that video with me. I got some positive vibes. And then the other thing is, if you want your question on the show, I'm answering them as fast as I can. I mean, this is like, I have 12 minutes here at the airport, and we're answering 2 questions. So the way to do that is 802-962-4357. I got to go, okay? Sorry, I don't want to, I gotta go.